What up, YouTube world? Just want to give you a big shout out. Thank y'all for watching my channel. Uh, Today's topic is about being scammed, of course, in the Philippines. And I know you're probably wondering, oh, it's another girl. Actually, today isn't really about, even though, I know I got a couple stories of that going down. But today's topic, whenever uh, like I said, I went and got a hotel room whenever I was staying there, and then had to get a boarding house, right? Because my hotel was expiring and it was so much money. So I actually went, got this boarding house. Everything was good, man. The dude, he was great landlord, until I decided to move out. Okay. Well, I noticed that my electric bill, see, at the boarding house, he said he gets the electric bill and then he just tells us what to pay. Okay. Okay. Rookie. So I'm like, okay, never really heard about that, but okay. Well, my first electric bill was very cheap, which I just had like a fan and everything. But by the time that I ended up uh, moving from there, I had a refrigerator, and I noticed that, and then I had a water dispenser and an air con. So I had a window unit, air conditioner, right? But uh, he had charged my neighbor like 2,500 pesos just the month before. And we seen this guy pull up on a motorcycle out in front of the gate one day, and I was sitting out there with my neighbors, and lo and behold, her husband goes out there, gets it's actually the electric bill for the entire side of for us, and he ended up going over and getting the electric bill for the other side just to look at it, being Filipina, curious. Um, so he goes and gets that, and I think it was something like it was way cheap, way cheap, And so what he charged her probably would have paid for both sides, if not half the other side. Okay, so we knew something was up right there. So that's when I started looking hard at other places to live, because I'm like, this guy, because he didn't charge us water, but he said the water was free, but really he was making everything up on the electric bill, because he basically, even though he said, oh, it's got its own meter, you know, uh, and it did have a little box out there. I got Wi-Fi, I ended up, because he had a peso Wi-Fi out there. And if you're familiar with the Philippines, everybody knows what peso Wi-Fi is. It's just a little box out there, and you put your coins in, and then you connect to Wi-Fi. It's outside. Pretty much everybody on our side could connect to it, and really we had neighbors that was next door, and they would come over there and they would connect to the peso Wi-Fi. They would pay the coins and connect to it. And it works good. I mean, you got to always have coins, but anyway, I had paid him a 5,000 peso deposit when I moved in. 5,000 plus the first month's rent. I paid him 10,000 pesos. So I go, thank God, found this other apartment. Well, Kay did. She found this other apartment. Okay, so I went ahead and I paid him the other apartment, my 5,000 pesos. And so I told him, his name is, we'll just call him Sir Rowley. So Sir Rowley, I had paid, my deposit. And I was like, hey, you ought to ask him for the deposit back. He said, well, I haven't got the electric bill yet, and I'll hold it out of whatever it is, right? And so I don't know. I done moved out. And look, I paid 2,000 pesos to get my air conditioner installed. Some guys that he sent over, that Sir Rowley sent over to the apartment, right? So I paid 2,000 pesos. They built a nice little metal frame to sit it on outside. They attached it to the wall and everything. Well, hey, man, I paid 2,000 pesos. That's my metal frame. It wasn't there before. So I figured, well, I could use it. You can always use it. So I just, whenever I moved, I took that off too. Well, Sir Rowley was complaining about that, you know. And then when it come to the electric bill, he said, and I had never, ever paid over, like 5,000 pesos. Definitely never over 5,000 pesos. And all of a sudden, my last electric bill, guess what it came to? Oh, it was 7,000. I think he said 7,900. So he said that he gets to keep that, and I had to pay the 1,900 peso difference. So yeah, and it was paid. Made sure. I mean, it was paid. And then he still was trying to call me, a couple of weeks after that. And I was like, man, I didn't even answer. I didn't even answer his phone call. But a rookie mistake. Like I said, it was, you know, and don't get me wrong. I mean, as long as I was living there, everything was great. But he was getting us all on that electric bill. I know he got uh, Ging Ging. I know he got her. And I'm sure anybody that had an aircon, that's who he was really. He could just say whatever, and you have to pay it. Even though we seen the entire side electric. You know, so that's another mistake that I made. So when I got to this new place, um, it does come each apartment gets its own electric bill from the electric company. And so I'm like, well, I'm just going to run the electric just like it was. I mean, my refrigerator runs, my water dispenser runs, but I only run my air con at nighttime unless it's, super, super hot during the day. And, I'll run it for just a little bit. But I mean, 99% of the time it's only ran at night, about dark 30 to, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, sometimes 7 a.m. And the highest electric bill that to date that I had got over there was like 4,400 pesos. Mm, yeah, stick it in and turn it, don't you? So yeah, that's another thing that you want to keep. When you're a foreigner, you're just going over there. Make sure that you're going to get your electric bill. Don't let your uh, or if he says no, you have your own meter. They send me the electric bill, and then uh, I tell you what to pay. Like, don't fall for that. Find another boarding house or find you another apartment. There's plenty of it there. It is a little difficult at first. It was for me, uh, but once you're there for a little bit and you got contacts and you got friends and you can even like stop at a 7-Eleven, a bakery, and the pharmacy, anywhere you stop, KCC or the malls. Uh, are good. Facebook is huge for finding rentals. You can always get on, just type in your area, whatever island that you're on, whatever city, barangay, whatever that you're in. You just type it in and let Facebook, it's matter of fact, I still have to take a picture of my Wi-Fi after I pay the Wi-Fi. I have to take a picture of it and then I have to send it to them for some reason. I have to send it to them on Facebook Messenger, you know. Same way with my rent out there. I have to take a picture of it and I send it to the property manager. Shout out to you, JM. I don't know if you even watch his channel, probably don't, but shout out to you, buddy. I hope your Lachon Manuk business is doing well. Uh, it's just some mistakes that I made. Another mistake that I made is don't go buy a motorcycle without first getting your Philippine driver's license, and your ACR card. So I think you have to be, I don't really know how long you have to be in the Philippines to get your ACR card. Maybe like 90 days, I think, or yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 90 days you have to be. So then you go, and it's all handled at the immigration office. It's called an ACR card. So just go get that. It's got your address and everything on it. It's got, and that way you can get registration because they sold me a motorcycle and I rode all around that town with no tags. And finally, a Filipino friend of mine, Ryan, shout out to you, buddy, said, "Where's your tags at?" He's like, They should give you tags within that day, or at least a temporary tag. So I call them up, this place called Muti, and I call them up, and I'm like, "Yes, I need to get my, my tags." They're like, "Well, do you have your ACR card yet? Or your Philippine driver's license?" I was like, "No, really, at that time, I don't think I had neither." And so they said, "Well, you have to get that and bring it in here, and then we can give you a tag." So that's something else you want to keep in mind. Uh, there's, you know, uh, if you love seafood, like I do, or fresh fruits and vegetables and stuff, you don't have to buy. Go to the public market. Make sure that you find your public market, or there'll be fruit stands all along the highways. I mean, highways and byways. I mean, there's people. Sorry stores has, but the public market is where you're going to get your good deals. I'm talking about grapes that big around. You know what I mean? Like I really thought they was fake. I didn't even know what it was. Until uh, I asked, and then they said that's grapes, and I was like, oh my gosh, like carrots. I'm talking about carrots, probably yay big around. Like it's got to be some of the richest soil, And of course, it's heavy in agriculture, which is awesome because we can feed ourselves, and the government in America is making it so hard on the farmers here. Uh, that there's fifth and sixth generation farmers going out of business, shutting it down because, they're not, there's no, I mean, it's the government. I mean, that's the easiest way I know how to put it. It's the government making it so hard on these farmers, and even the Amish. They was a guy, he made his own cheese, his own milk, everything up in Pennsylvania, which is you got a huge Amish community up there. And, the federal the government came in there, I guess the FDA, they came in there and literally had a dumpster delivered and threw all of his cheese, his now all natural cheese is natural milk, just was tossing it in the bin. Like what the heck, talking about overreach. I mean, they're way overreaching, they're slam dunking, and it's why would they be doing that? It's control. That's what it boils down to. It's all about control. When a man can't, make a living for himself and doing it a honest way, man. I mean, these guys, them Amish guys, they they work hard as any other farmer out there. Shout out to any farmer that's watching this, because I know, whenever I was little, man, that's what we had. We lived on a farm, and it's work. It's all day, every day, cutting field, cutting grass, baling hay, stacking hay up in the barn for the winter, and then neutering the pigs and killing them and smoking them, and it's just all day, everyday work, and so for the government to overreach or not to, they should want agriculture. It's just like me and my buddy was talking the other day. He's like, McDonald's sells 6.8 million burgers a day, and he asked, "Where have you ever heard of McDonald's having like a 5,000 acre field full of cattle, that they're slaughtering, and it's McDonald's cattle, you know? I haven't, so if you've heard, drop it in, let me know where that field's at. I would love to just go see a 5,000 acre field full of McDonald's owned cattle. Of course, I've heard, human and horse meat. It was found in a warehouse in Oklahoma. Uh, but see, none of that really made mainstream. You gotta look that up. You got to do a little digging to find news like that, because the legacy news, the regular news here in America is all corrupt. It's a narrative. If you hear them say something in Seattle, Washington, the same's being said in Miami, Florida, the same to Nashville, Tennessee, to Detroit, Michigan. It's a narrative. They all say it it's a show, and it's just like the weatherman. Knowing the weather. They back in the day they couldn't ever they didn't know the weather. Nothing like how they can predict it now. So just makes you think. But there's several reasons why I left America. Of course, I'm back right now for a short stint. Well, it's actually already been like 3 months. I don't even know how long I got left. But hopefully get all this put behind me. I can move forward in my life, man. I was living probably the healthiest I've ever been. Everything, like my whole health completely changed other than my leg uh, in the Philippines. So, I just want to give y'all, a little heads up on a few of the things that I'd learned while I was out there. I hope this is beneficial, just, and if you have any questions or anything, man, you're always willing to shoot me a message, and I'll get back with you. But I hope everybody has a blessed day out there. And I will actually, this is my second blog in the day. So I will holler at y'all later. See y'all.